Now, Dan, in the 1980s, of course, you saw a lot of winning as you're talking about right now, but 1983 is a particularly notorious
Yeah.
season where the Celtics underachieved. And we all hear the stories of what happened with Bill Fitch. Of course, he was eventually ousted within the Celtics organization for Casey Jones later on in time. But during that 82-83 season, was there a particular point in that year where the team gave up on Bill Fitch?
Yes, it was like a borderline mutiny. It was just, and I was first year in the beat, but I had covered um, the Baltimore Orioles for 5 years. I mean, I had been around Major League Baseball, and I was young, but I knew when guys were quitting on a guy, and it was weird to walk into it because Fitch was a good coach. He's what they needed, and he was Larry's rookie coach, and won a championship in '81, and he got Robert Parrish. Chief owes him a lot for turning his career around, making him run the floor because he was great at that. And Fitch identified certain skills and got the most out of guys, but it had run its course. And in that league, a lot of guys, 3-4 years, that's it. And with Fitch, the way he ran things, he just had a lot of, hardo rules and stuff that these men did not want to. Like in Madison Square Garden, when the game ended, they had to get on the bus and go back to the hotel and then get released. They couldn't be released at Madison Square Garden. So, guys would have their families or relatives visiting Madison Square Garden and say, yeah, I'll meet you back at the hotel. I gotta ride the bus back with the team. And just stupid little stuff like that. And these guys were men. They were champions. They didn't need that. So there was just all this stuff and, video. I saw the TV video support collapse one time, and Maxwell and Chief were like doing a happy dance all around the locker room because the TV stand broke and they couldn't watch video that night. I mean, they were just, and ML, we had drinks in Chicago. It was an off day where there had been an episode at practice, and he was going to drive the bus back himself to get everybody out of the gym where they were practicing in Chicago, and he was done. And then I remember ML bringing his 6-year-old son, Michael. They played in the playoffs in Atlanta. And because it was the playoffs, Bill had a media bus. So to separate us from the players, which they never used, it was a total facade. But he didn't want us on their bus. Things were going bad, and he didn't want us around it. So he had a media bus, for like 4 guys. But ML's son flew with us from Boston to Atlanta for the playoff game. And then after they got there, we all got our bags. We were directed to the media bus, and Michael, poor 6-year-old Michael, had to ride with the media. Couldn't ride with his dad. And ML had the great quote. He says, Bill Fitch, he was ahead of Donald Trump separating families. He was breaking up children from their parents right then, And but in the moment, he was pissed, and it was clear to me this had run its course. And of course, in the second round, they got swept by the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, but that team, they won the championship the next year. They were in the finals 4 straight years after that and won 2 championships. That team was swept in the conference semifinals by the Bucks. Same guys. No, Dennis Johnson wasn't there yet, but rest of them same guys. And for them to get swept, that was a mutiny more than ability. And Bucks had some guys, but sweep the Celtics, that had never happened. It was a disgrace. Larry never got over it. That's why the next 3 years he was MVP. He just went home and lost weight, ran all summer. They picked up Dennis Johnson, which was huge, and they fixed that right away. But part of it was Bill had to go, and even Red was done with Bill. Red would not come out and say that to us, but even in my young years, I could size that up, and I was right. And but Fitch didn't like it. He didn't like chronicling that in the moment. I understand that. It was a hard time for everybody.